Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this webinar, Unlocking Your Adaptive, 7 Ways Forward. I'm JP. I'm a solution consultant from Revelwood, global Workday Adaptive Planning partner. And really, we've created this series to show you quick ways to make your planning more efficient and more impactful. And today is going to be around AI and ML. In FP&A, AI and FP&A helps teams become more proactive in terms of instead of reactive. AI can automate data analysis. It can detect patterns some humans might miss, and it can provide predictive insights such as future revenue or future cost or cost trends or cash flow. And really that can enable you to become more faster, more accurate in planning by reducing manual work. So AI can free up finance teams and to focus more on strategic discussions instead of data prepping and error checking. So Workday Adaptive Planning stands out in this area because of its AI and machine learning features, like predictive forecasting and anomaly detection. And these are really embedded directly in the planning process. So unlike many tools that require external data scientists or integrations, adaptive AI works natively with your existing data and models. So it's making it accessible for business users without coding. So really that tight integration between your AI insights, your flexible modeling, your collaboration sets Adaptive apart. Today it's going to be around AI and machine learning, 3 topics: predictive forecaster, anomaly detection, and outlier reporting. So let's dive in. So what you see here is a dashboard where I have some examples of the predictive forecaster, anomaly detection, and outlier reporting. Before we dive in, I just wanted to quickly underline what it's all about. So it's all about algorithms, anomalies based on your current plan, and comparing that with your predicted forecast or your machine learning forecast. So in Adaptive Planning, we can create forecasts from historical data patterns. And what we can also use are multiple external data points called levers. So things like CPI or weather data or HR data, we can use that to our benefits to become smarter in planning. So those are the main things to call out here. So first topic, predictive forecaster. So what you see here is the outcome of a predicted forecast for units sold. So what we see here is a unit sold predicted by the MBEATS algorithm, by the profit algorithm, including external data or a CPI that we see in this sheet, and then the adaptive auto-fit algorithm, and the orange line is what we are actually forecasting. So what we are doing here is we let AI give us some suggestions for what we're actually forecasting. And let me show you how we create those suggestions. So within modeling, within model management, we have our predictive forecasting. And what we see here are a couple of examples, predictive forecast rules that we run. And I'm just going to take the profit with levers as an example. And really, this is something that you configure, so you don't need any data scientists or any coding skills to create this. So you configure it. So there are a couple of things that are important. So you need to select your sheet. So in this case, it's our product revenue, where we plan our units. You need to select a version. That's a working budget in this case. We are predicting for 2 years. There's an important ratio that you should take in consideration, is that for every 2 years of forecast, you need at least 3 years of historical data. Our filters are things like accounts and levels, dimensions that we want to apply this to. So in this case, it's our account units profit with lever that we have in our product revenue sheet. We're applying it to all levels. And in terms of our reference data, so again, this ties back into that important ratio. We are applying 2 years of historical data to this prediction. And that data is all sitting within our adaptive instance in the actuals version. Some more advanced settings, so things like selecting the algorithm. And what an algorithm is, it really processes historical data, identifies patterns, and it uses those patterns to predict future outcomes. And the profit algorithm basically is a forecasting model that automatically detects trends, seasonality, holidays, really that sort of thing. But if you're unsure what algorithm you should choose, you can always choose the AutoFit. That's an algorithm from Adaptive that basically looks at your data and selects the algorithm that's the best fit. And you can also go into the Help Center by clicking on this link, and that will explain all of the algorithms to you. There's some more settings that you can do. One I want to point out, so I'm using a lever or external data that I have in a sheet in Adaptive. So what I've done is I've imported consumer price index information into a sheet, and I'm using that to make the prediction more smarter. Right, so those are the most important things to call out. So once you've run it, it takes a couple of minutes that will populate the forecast for you. And the result of that, that's what we are looking at. And so like I said, you can use this as suggestions on how you can use this. And this is just an example, but I'm going to select one customer. And I also have my products in here, my levels in here. And what you'll see is that I have a cube sheet with products and with customers and with units sold. And all of these suggestions are here in these 3 columns for MBeats, levers, and AutoFit. And the units, I can populate that myself. So you can now copy paste your predicted outcome into what you're actually forecasting. So this is one way to do that. Of course, you could also generate the forecast directly from the predicted forecast, but we found that a lot of companies, they need some time to really start trusting and understanding the data that is generated by the predicted forecast before they actually start using it as a forecast. So this is one example. I have a second example in this dashboard where my predicted forecast is more on the cost side of things. So on certain GL accounts, it looks at the historical data and applies an algorithm. And then what you could do is by using a model sheet, you can select by GL account what kind of method you want to apply. So that's also an example of how you could use it in practice. So that's the first topic, predictive forecasting. Second one is anomaly detection. So really, this has been sitting for a longer time in Adaptive, but it is really useful. So this works on GL accounts, for instance, and it works in a standard sheet. And when you click on show anomalies, all of the anomalies will show up highlighted in the cells where you actually have anomalies compared to your machine learning or predictive forecast. And how Adaptive calculates something being an anomaly is taking a lower bound and an upper bound into account. So in this case, by default, it's 40%, but it's also something that you can adjust. So this gives you kind of information. Are there any anomalies that really stand out to you? So like this one, telephone cost in December 2026, this stands out because this is just way beyond the banding. But it could make sense. Like this could be something that you are expecting that is not in your trend. So then you can do two things to that anomaly. You can unmark it, and that means you say, okay, this anomaly makes sense, or you can just go in and change the number or do some further analysis. Final piece. So if you want to do your variance analysis between your predictive forecast and your current plan, then a dashboard is a really good way to do this, especially when you put a report on a dashboard. What we see in this report, so it's just the standard HTML reports that we use, but it compares your predicted forecast with the current budget, and it uses variance calculation to highlight the variances. All right, so that was it in terms of my demo. There are some wrap-up items that I would just like to discuss. So next week, there will be a webinar around reporting, using dashboards, using Office Connect, using snapshots. It will be on 2 days, so the 12th and the 13th. And also, I would like to point you to our YouTube channel. We have our own YouTube channel, and the recordings of 3 prior webinars are already on there. So if you've missed one of those, please go and check it out. And the third thing that I want to offer is I would like to offer a short session to everyone where we can kind of think and brainstorm around use cases where you could apply predictive forecasting. So just see it as a brainstorm session where we can talk to this a little bit in detail and see if there are areas like your revenue or your cost where we could apply predictive insights, and maybe also discuss, okay, so what would be external data sources that could make this prediction even more accurate and more smart. So please take that into your consideration. And with that, thank you for joining. Hope to see you all next week.